Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our commentary on 1999's surprise smash hit, The Matrix, directed by the Wachowski brothers and also written by them. Now, we have a bit of information to report here. We did this movie once, but unfortunately, we lost the original audio, so we have to do this movie again. And this was after we've done pretty much almost all of the Matrix media that we can do.
Yeah.
It's ironic that a movie about technology and we lose the original audio because of technology.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay.
And yeah, it's still me, Pedro, and Teo because Jova
is not really keen on the Matrix.
and we couldn't find him in the Matrix to unplug him, so we just had to leave him there. But don't worry, he's living in a perfect world where Phoenix Wright is Ace Attorney is the biggest franchise ever. So anyway, start before the Warner Brothers logo.
Wait. Allow me to step in there. So you're telling me that Jova's ideal world where is the one where instead of Yokai Watch taking over Japan, it was Ace Attorney that took over Japan.
Considering it's Jova we're talking about, that's gonna probably be the East Main scenario.
Yeah, alright, so yeah, let's get on with it.
Alright, basically everybody start before the Warner Bros. Logo.
Okay.
Alright.
So
you should pause where it's right before it happens. It should be seeing a black screen and you'll be in sync with us.
okay. Alright. 3, 2, 1, click.
And yes, they modified the Warner Brothers logo just for this.
It's green.
Yet it's not a Green Lantern movie.
So yeah, technically we're ending where we began.
Yes. Everything that has a beginning has an end.
Well, remember, Pedro, this is a series that practically milked the phrase "everything is connected." So,
well, of course,
no
it's the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
No, I know, but it's so fitting in this case.
Yeah.
And we start with something falling. Okay.
The Matrix.
Roll credits.
My history of this movie is that, unlike most people who find that out later, I actually watched Ghost in the Shell, which is an awesome, fantastic animated movie. Which, let's just say the Wachowskis took kind of ripped off a few scenes straight from this movie, as we'll show in a specific bonus commentary we'll be doing.
Right.
I know,
Yeah,
right? Such
but-
bullshit.
But let's be fair. This movie still does have its entertaining moments, even after.
It does. My problem with the movie is that not okay. I'm not saying that literally everything is ripped off from Ghost in the Shell, but I'm not kidding. There are literal scenes that are literally shot by shot taken from the movie. And second, I just don't find the story to be all that interesting as most people do.
Third, it has Keanu Reeves as a protagonist, which is blander than Blandy, bland.
This is he seems to only be able to act well when he's in that movie. What's that name again, Dwibs? That
Speed.
Okay, that one too. But I was thinking
John Wick.
That's it, John Wick, and the Bill and Ted movies.
Right. Ugh. And now we're in the basic. So, and also this movie, the stuff inside the Matrix takes place in America, but it was actually filmed in the beautiful American place of Australia.
Sydney, specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sydney.
The wonderful American town of Sydney. Oh, hi, Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving is one of the few saving disgraces of this movie.
Well, actually, of the entire trilogy.
Yeah, pretty much. Mostly because, well, he's Hugo Weaving. How can you go wrong?
And also, for
Honestly,
the whole
Teo,
thing,
I didn't care for him as Megatron.
Well, that's because he just voices
that's one role against like
True.
tons.
Jillian.
Okay, one thing that's pretty hilarious is that basically the thing about the Matrix is humans versus machines, and yet at times the characters who are supposed to be machines are more emotional than
I
humans.
hate this shot.
Yeah, and that's exactly the problem. In fact, since nothing's going on and you brought that up, I might as well voice that my concern right now about that. You'd think in a movie where humanity is rising against machines, They would try to make the human characters as human as possible versus the cold machines, right? But no, the human characters are just as cold, or even more so than the machine characters. But then again, if there's one thing that Wachowski has never been good at, is in directing actors and characters.
I think the only time where they directed actors well, to an extent, was Speed Racer, and even then,
like I said before, I think the Wachowskis would work better as cinematographers rather than directors, because they're great at directing action scenes, but that's about it.
It's ironic. A film. The only movie where they direct the actors well is a movie that I can't bear to watch.
Which is
Speed Racer.
Wait, what? Since when do they direct?
Speed Racer hurts my eyes. How can I watch the acting going on if I have to cover my eyes every time because of the looking bright colours?
Also, John Goodman with a mustache is unwatchable. Legitimately.
Anyway, fire.
Wee. That's bullshit.
Well, we're in the Matrix, so gravity can be changed.
And even the policeman says right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Impossible. But that's one of the main problems that were raised countless times, Dwibs. Honestly, with all this the excuse, it's a virtual reality, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want. Alright, so why don't you just become God or something?
Actually, Teo, you're forgetting something. As they're going to explain later. No, they never established that everything is possible in the Matrix. What they said is, like in a computer system, rules can either be bent. Some rules can be bent, and some rules can be broken. Equal some, and the only one who can indeed be God, like you said, is the one. So to be fair, no, that's something Trinity can do right now.
Yeah, yes. It's not like Trinity can turn into like a 50-foot tall giant.
So yeah, I don't like the movie, but I will, for the interest of fairness, I will give it credit there.
Okay, Trinity versus Chuck. Who will win?
Drive. Okay.
And for some reason, Trinity beat a fast-moving truck.
Yes. Then again, she's because of the whole thing where she's fast. Remember, Dwibs, she pressed the focus button.
Yeah, she pressed the button on the PS2 controller and went that fast.
I forgot. Does Path of Neo have the focus meter too? It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, she used the focus meter, Dwibs.
Yeah. No shit, Agent Obvious.
Oh yes, Captain Obvious to the rescue.
Once again, by the way.
It's an anagram of one. Get it?
Get it? They're so clever, these writers.
Although, okay, I'm gonna be fair too. If we had to rewatch one of these movies, at least it's this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one that doesn't drive me up the wall or bore me to tears.
Yes, the great future where people still use Windows 98.
Yeah, and actually, this movie takes place in 1999. Well, the Matrix-y stuff, anyway. And here's Keanu Reeves, in a role that was originally meant to be played by Will Smith.
I cannot seriously imagine Will Smith in this role.
But instead, he participated in that wonderful smash hit, Wild Wild West.
Oh, grrr.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie, but
I get stomach issues every time I think about that movie. It's not terrible, but still painful.
The Matrix has you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. Control.
Yeah. Control X. Shouldn't you use Control Alt Delete?
I guess Control X. Cut away the text.
Control C for copy and Control V for paste.
Yeah, but Control X is used for cut pieces of text. It functions the same of copying, but it just cuts away.
True, but that wouldn't really. I don't know. I still think the Control Alt Delete command would have been more obvious there.
Bottom line, it doesn't know how to use a proper...
No, don't you see, guys? If you use Control-Alt-Delete in the Matrix, the entire thing gets erased and you've doomed humanity.
What are you? Discount Colin Farrell?
But you see, Well, first a user would have to be connected to the internet. Then you would have to press an exact sequence of keys followed by delete. I've calculated the exact possibilities of this happening 9 million to 1. In fact, how sad is it that Freakazoid gets computers better than this movie?
And this is about computers, sort of, mostly.
Boom! Did you listen? That wonderful, subtle plot point. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Ow,
Jesus
ow,
Christ, the subtleness.
Ow,
Gee-
guys,
jeez.
that hammer hit so hard.
I know, right? Oh, wait, I love this line that's coming.
Yeah, it's called trying to wake up from sleep.
All right, I'll give it that. That was a funny line.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yes, it's like waking up from sleep. Okay, that's one line that I remember I did in our original commentary. And I managed to remember it and say it in this one, so...
Yay,
Yay.
props for Dwibs.
Yeah.
Pat.
Yeah.
Wow, so is this girl working for Morpheus or something? Because we never see this character
Yeah.
ever again.
For all we know, well, honestly, headcanon, she's the avatar that some fat black man is using to log in the Matrix or something.
Listen to this music.
Like, honestly, if the Matrix is just, this virtual reality thing, why can't there be allowed those dorks that uses, like they're males that uses female avatars and vice versa?
Ooh, hello.
I'm totally not interested in you, and even though I look like I'm naked.
I'm soon going to be a lawyer in,
Also, I never
in
got
Jessica
this.
Jones.
What is
Okay, her name, Trinity, is supposed to be symbolism, of course, but what does this have to do?
Well, Teo, if we're going by the logic of his alias Neo, because Neo is his alias on the internet, kind of like yours is Teos Kaven, right?
Yeah.
So by that logic, I'm guessing all of their names.
I get it. They use 90s kids language. All right.
Trinity is her internet name, basically.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
which is funny because Carrie Ann Moss later went on to play a lawyer in Jessica Jones.
Just like mine is 4 Ps.
Yeah. I still prefer more serial killer with a C.
Okay, I'll be fair to Carrie Ann Moss. Here she's not very all that emotional, but she did improve by Jessica Jones. So
No. Carrie Ann
what
Moss is
role she's
actually
playing in
Carrie Ann Moss is
that
actually a really
series?
good actress. It's just that most of the time she's in movies that are not really that good.
Dwibs,
Yeah?
what role she is playing in that series, Misty Knight?
no, she played Hogarth.
Oh, okay.
The same thing for Lawrence Fishburne. He's a really good actor, but unfortunately, yeah.
He got stuck in shit movies like this trilogy or Event Horizon.
And Man of Steel.
Uh,
The answer is out there.
yeah. Speaking of which, I bet everyone here is out to go see Batman vs Superman.
I'm actually the interesting thing about that movie is that for some reason people are actually starting to look forward to that for some reason. I still don't get it honestly.
The last trailer release is boring as fuck. Anyway.
Oh wait, and here's more subtlety by the Wachowskis.
I think the worst they got with on subtlety was Speed Racer, actually.
Wow.
Subtleties hurting my eyes. Also, I'm your generic corporate.
Dear Lord, they're
boss
making
bullshit.
they're making the fucking Looney Tunes shorts be subtle by comparison.
And
Well, this is a Warner Bros. Part.
yeah, they're both Warner Brothers.
You know what? Even Kubrick, when he made The Shining, he used the Looney Tunes short in the background for comedic relief.
And that's another case of irony. Eyes Wide Shut came out the same year, and that was Warner Brothers too.
Well, yeah.
There's a problem, Pedro. In this trilogy, there's barely any comedy in it.
Yeah.
If you really notice. These movies take themselves so seriously.
Well, Teo, that's always been the problem with the Wachowskis. When they write their movies, they take themselves way too seriously, but without the actual substance to make. Well, let's think about this. The Godfather, for the most part, also doesn't have comedy, and this takes itself over. So the difference is that Coppola wrote in that script substance to
And
just
and Puzo.
yeah, Mario and Coppola and Puzo wrote enough substance into that script to justify the tone they were going with. Whereas the Wachowskis, yeah.
You know what's hilarious?
Also, Binoc,
I was gonna say, you know what's hilarious?
Yeah.
Back in '99, people were praising this for not being like the Phantom Menace, and yet so how many? What's the difference between this and Jupiter Ascending?
Well, okay, fine. I'll give it. I'll give it this.
This and 16 years later, they make something that I think's actually worse than Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah. Jupiter Ascending, you mean?
Yeah.
They're both about on the same level, if you ask me.
I mean, that'd be like if I don't know, say a guy was praised for doing.
I mean, the main reason why I think well, it's two. Well, first of all, which one is longer?
I've forgotten actually.
I'll want to look it up, or should I?
No, I'll do it. Again, I've seen this movie many times, so I'll do it.
Go ahead. Well, I did too, but
Okay.
All right.
I mean,
for section.
I mean, for as much as I don't like this movie, I will admit that I also have, like most people, I also have quite a lot of nostalgic memories about it because it's been years and shit. So there's always that, I guess.
Okay. Well, Phantom Menace is only a little bit longer, actually.
All right, then in that case, Phantom Menace is worse for me because again,
Well, but it's only longer by like 9 minutes.
I know,
It's still
Dwibs.
too much.
I know, Dwibs, but again, like I said, 9 minutes of torture more or 9 minutes of torture less for me, and I'll pick the shorter option. That's how I am.
Also-
How I am with these things.
Yeah, but at least with Phantom Menace, they've got scenes like the pod race scene and the fight between Obi-Wan
Again, Dwibs,
and Qui-Gon.
Dwibs, you're
What
not
does
going to
Jupiter
convince me of
Ascending
that.
have?
You're not going to convince me of that, Dwibs, because I don't like the pod racing scene, and I don't like the sort of, because you know how what I think about the lightsaber duels in the prequels.
Anyway, as Doug pointed out in this review,
Boring.
Yeah, why the fuck are the agents not, knowing where he is?
Because plot convenience, too.
Yeah.
If you were playing Path of Neo, I could at least go different routes.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. It's like Jova said in our playthrough, the game actually does the plot of the trilogy a little better, if anything, because of the branching paths.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you can actually get a game over at the blue-red pill bit.
Yeah, that's actually a neat little joke. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Actually, I wish I just did that. I took the blue pill, game over, wouldn't have to do the game.
Hey.
Well, that was Path of Neo, everybody.
Yep, yeah, but unfortunately, yeah. Shit.
What a party move.
Yeah, mind your language, Theo. You're supposed to be the one. You're supposed to be.
Was this movie PG-13 rated?
No. It was R-rated.
R-rated.
Oh, R-rated. But aside from that, that's not so
Well,
much.
you know how America is with their censorship. They're very sensitive
ratings
nowadays.
has always been bullshit. Pretty much everything.
You know what's funny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You basically, R means pretty much a 17 rating, and yet Deadpool got rated R over there, and yet here it got rated 15.
Really?
Yeah, and there was no cuts at all. So sorry about that deviation, but let's get back to the movie.
It's actually one of my favorite scenes.
So the architect's watching this scene, I guess.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Get ready, guys, because that's the only piece of foreshadowing for the architect we get in this movie.
All right. You want a burrito or something?
Would you like a drink, Mr. Anderson? I would like a coffee.
Line.
I think.
Have you now? Two lives.
Thomas Anderson. He's a film director.
Oh, how cute.
I mean, the dialogue itself is stupid, but the way Hugh delivers it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Patrick Stewart. You know, you can put any bad dialogue in front of him, and yet he'll say it with the utmost conviction.
Well, like in the third movie where he goes like, "Cookies are meant to be loved" or
Yeah,
something.
cookies need love, like everything does. We need you to sign this contract, which means you will be in those obviously planned 2 sequels to this movie.
Oh yeah.
And all rated merchandise.
Yes. In fact, there will be movies. Those movies will make some people wish they were watching the Star Wars prequels over those.
Not for me. For me, it's like the Matrix is just its own original piece of shit, whereas to me the prequels are shitting on what was once a glorious franchise. Fortunately, The Force Awakens fixed that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Basically, it's one of those things where
Things in their own franchise.
basically one of those things where if you want to take a shit in your own pond, not on our ponds.
And yet, we have to something to speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the worst thing about the Matrix is that sometimes popular films can spawn those clones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some of those clones can be good or at times even better than the original thing that spawned from it.
Well, like I said before, this movie already is a clone of Ghost in the Shell anyway.
But this also spawned Ballistic. So yeah.
Yeah, and now for some reason this happens.
And he
If
loses.
you're wondering, this never happens for the rest of the trilogy, so completely
But don't you see, Teo? It's a dream. Therefore, we're allowed to do whatever fucked up shit we think about. Again, even Airgate follows that logic.
But it's not a dream.
Actually, it is. Remember,
Yeah, but then he gets the thing still in his
Oh
stomach.
god, this scene,
Yeah, I've watched this scene so many times I've become desensitized to it at this point.
As for me, I don't really give a shit about these kind of things. So whatever.
No, it just says I'm very sensible.
I mean, it's not like that. It's not like that little bit out of Food Fight or anything like.
Yeah, that effect looks really dated by today's standards.
Yeah, but hey, at least unlike Food Fight, this was made back in '99, so it has that excuse.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, basically the entire point of that scene
Was to scare the shit out of Neo.
and to establish that he's bugged, basically.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see how that develops.
It. Fine, I'll wait.
Also, yes, apparently he has candies on his shelf. Okay.
And yet he's still thin as shit. How was he?
Old
He's got an
telephones.
awesome metabolism.
We're metabolism.
Yeah. So agents must be listening to this call then.
And yet they have no idea where he's going for some reason. Otherwise they would have done something.
Even though they clearly say, go to this place here.
You know, maybe you should wait till you're near him before you say these things, but whatever.
Okay, fellow agents, let's go and meet him there.
Yeah.
All right.
Not.
The Adams Street Bridge. Da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun.
And then
Da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun.
yeah, and then
In fact, I kind of wish I was watching the Adams Family. That's one of movies we have to do sometime. The Adams Family movies.
and then Agent. Whoa.
Oh shit.
The cartoon is also very good. The '90s one.
How?
Okay.
You know, the one with Cloris Leachman.
Okay, what do they need protection from him from? What's he gonna do? Monologue him to death?
Remember, Dwibs is bugged, whatever the hell that means, because they never explain what the hell is the danger
And,
even.
and he
What's
says,
the
yes,
what does
it's
the
never
book
brought
do?
up in the entire trilogy ever again.
Ah, wow,
Yeah,
you got that line from which cliche book?
the book of
I'm rolling
1999
down
cliches.
because I just feel so
Please, Neo,
riding.
please, Neo, you have to trust me. Never mind the fact that you've never seen me and you have absolutely no reason to trust me. For all you know, I could be wanting to kill you or something, and yet, maybe, just trust me for this.
Trust me on this.
See, the problem is, they're trying to establish that he's bored of his life, and he's, the problem is that we don't really spend enough time with him here in the Matrix, sorry, to, get a good sense of how, out of place he feels.
The movie's 2.25 hours long.
Oh boy.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that whole sequence that took like 10 minutes all for the purpose of putting in a bug? Now they're just going to take the bug out, and that's it.
I remember seeing something like this in an episode of Doctor Who where they put a collar on the Doctor because a murder just happened, and they are putting him on trial for the murder, so they put a collar on him to restrict his movements. But then like 3 minutes later, they take it off him anyway, and it's never mentioned again.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those 10 minutes, they were just a waste of your time.
But, hey, I guess they get to show us this gun.
Ah.
What about...
Oh, hey, Dwibs, try to enjoy it, because that's probably the most emotion he shows in these movies.
Sorry.
Jesus.
So, again, I'll just say that I think Keanu Reeves, I respect him more than I do think he's a good actor. He tries. He pretty much all of his movies.
He can do well. It just depends on what kind of movie he's in.
Yeah, you can never fault Keanu Reeves' efforts. You can fault his acting, though.
Oh, no. I don't think Keanu sucks on purpose at all. No. I
No,
never did that.
yeah, of course not.
Get good.
Please, be honest.
And here's another thing. For as much as Cypher is the villain, I know, sorry. Well, then again, everybody's seen this movie by this point. Who cares? Okay. The guy played by John Pantoliano, Cypher, turns out to be the closest thing we had to a villain in this movie.
Aside from Agent Smith.
And he actually brings up... Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. Anyway, he brings up a really good point that's going to come up later on regarding this scene. Why doesn't Morpheus just tell him flat out what this is about and what taking the red pill entails exactly? Like, allow me to quote the actual line that Cypher. He tricked us. If he had told us the truth, we would have told him to stuck that red pill right up his ass, like Dwibs did. So yeah, but so when you think about it in hindsight, Morpheus is basically tricking Neo and kind of decepting him.
He's doing this on the hunch that he's the one.
Not that, yeah. Not only that, yeah, you're right. Not that makes it even worse.
Then, how did he start to know him that he's the one? He's just a random hacker, like Countless.
Don't you see, Teo? He has a hunch.
And as we all know, in movies, hunches are almost always right.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, let's give this movie a do. Let's listen to this bit here.
Oh. That's right. Again, like I said, we weren't able to actually watch him feel out of place with the world. No, we have to be told about how he feels.
Of course.
Yeah, I love that. I love how the nostalgia critic took the idea of this and put it on his review of Signs, because that child who talked, who didn't talk like a child at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Sure.
You're not answering this question.
So,
in fact, you're kind of evading the question right now.
So it's the Force then.
Yeah.
And just like the Force, you could George. One person could use it to do anything.
George. Maybe this would be a good time to sue.
I guess he just didn't care. Because I mean, I honestly don't remember him suing anyone really.
True. No. I'm actually making one joke. To be fair, actually, George Lucas is actually very flexible about that kind of shit. Like for example, he perfectly allowed every single for example, every time Family Guy wanted to make a Star Wars joke, they always had to ask for permission for Lucasfilm, and they always kept saying yes, yes. And eventually, the writers had the idea, let's just make a parody of the movies themselves and shit. And George Lucas immediately said yes to everything because he actually is a fan of Family Guy, even so. Give him credit there. He's definitely he's not. I don't think he's a bad person at all. It's just that I think he was very greedy about the way he made the prequels.
I know. You know those little robot chicken shorts they did at times.
Yeah. The same
he
thing.
actually got him to play himself.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, hey,
great. Can I take the blue pill then?
So yeah, Lucas is at least more humble than at this point the Wachowskis.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's saying a lot.
Can I take the blue pill?
What happens if we take both pills at the same time?
Actually, Dwibs, there was a parody. There was a Newgrounds Flash parody of The Matrix, where basically, and then he takes the both pills, and then he takes both of them, and he's like, "Ha!" And then his head pops in.
All right.
So there you go.
I gotta see that. Do you have a link to it or something?
It should be on YouTube. Hold on, I'll check. It's basically a collection of shorts called The Matrix Has You, which is basically a collaboration of various Newgrounds artists making various Matrix. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube.
Since you're the movie guy, Dwibs, what were his most major roles other than this one?
Joe Bertoliano. The following year, he and Carrie Moss were in Memento.
All right, I just
What? Don't you like Memento?
No, I just found Nolan movies in general a bit heavy for my taste.
Oh, thank you, Teo. I can relate to somebody.
Yay!
Woo!
Was he also in Daredevil or something?
Yeah, he was.
The 2003 movie.
Yeah. Thunder crack.
Of course, you have to have a thunder crack because otherwise it wouldn't be cliche enough. At this point, you might as well have Morpheus go, live, God damn it, live. It's alive.
After he wakes up, he wakes up. It's alive.
Okay. This bit here, you know the bit where he touches the mirror and it makes him go inside himself.
This particular moment makes no sense. And it
was he supposed to touch the mirror?
I have no idea. Like seriously, this particular moment makes no sense.
See, Trinity looks as like, is he supposed to do that? And yet it still works anyways.
Morpheus, you're kind of avoiding the obvious elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Simple. Hey, the Morpheus, there's a simple way of telling the difference between the dream world and the real world. Pinch yourself. If it hurts, you're in the real world.
Oh no, he's becoming the T-1000.
Yes, let's all stay here while the guy clearly is about to die or something.
Yeah, I don't think he was supposed to touch the mirror. Because it's making him go inside himself or something. Ew.
Jesus.
Okay, so Neo went inside himself and now he's here. I guess that's... Okay,
okay, here we go. Okay, for those who haven't seen Ghost in the Shell, this is one of the scenes that was literally taken, completely ripped off by that movie. I'm not even kidding. It's literally shot by shot the same scene, basically.
Ugh. Jesus.
Okay, well that's one thing the Wachowskis are good at. You know, when they do stuff practically, they do it pretty well.
Well, yeah. Like I said before, Dwibs, I think they should be either special effects people or cinematographers.
Yeah, and like in The Last of Us, one person directed the technical bit, the other directed the story bit.
Yes.
I'm surprised,
That's how Naughty Dog always does things.
I'm surprised you don't do that in movies.
Sometimes the Coen brothers, I think, do it in that way, I think.
Yeah, you got one person managing the technical aspects.
I think the
when you've got the other-
Wachowskis probably also do something similar.
Where you got another person directing the actors.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, here we go. So that.
Oh, hello there.
What's that thing?
Here we
Is
go.
that-
Teo, question: have you ever seen Ghost in the Shell?
Only the first movie.
That's
the
the one.
OVA.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
uh,
You're getting raped.
It's a big dive.
Ah,
Actually, no, it's not really all that disgusting, really.
no,
eh.
it's painful.
Of course it is, he's been stuck in the Matrix all these
And now
years,
he's
and now
getting
he's here.
flashed.
By the way, allow me to bring up something. Later on, they're going to establish that since he's been asleep basically his whole life, his muscles have atrophied. Okay, makes sense. So how come he was actually able to even take out those things and get up and everything if all his muscles are atrophied?
I think while he was connected, he had some kind of an anatomy or something.
But he's
Yeah,
moving
but-
right now. But he's moving right now.
Well, there he's just struggling, I guess. I don't know.
Well, now he's not moving.
By the way, don't bother. This movie isn't worth you.
Yeah. The score throughout the entire trilogy was done by Don Davis, and I think the music's the best part of this series.
Yeah.
Again, it's ironic, because this kind of helped spawn Ballistic, and Don Davis is also part of that. I still don't believe it either.
We have?
How do you know? Do you have any proof? Your acting is dead, but okay. How do those pins actually help his muscles?
Acupuncture Dwibs.
Right. So you're going to revive dead muscles by poking them.
It's the future Dwibs.
Yeah, don't question it.
Maybe maybe there's a scientist person out there somewhere that can explain this to me or something, but yeah, I know. In very vague terms, but yeah, they'll be coming. How can he rest of them things sticking in him? Must be freaked out at this point. Ugh.
You have to wonder when the first one freed the first people, how they were able to reconstruct muscles without this technology.
remember, Pedro, as the movies keep well established. Well, I think we established even in the this one. There's a whole group of humans that were not locked in the Matrix, but were born naturally on Earth.
Yeah, Tank.
I know, Teo, but apparently, but he's gonna say that it was the first one that freed the first one. So technically, before the first one, there wasn't anybody on the real world because they were all in the Matrix. It was the first one. It was the first one who freed himself. That's what they established. Teo. I know it doesn't make any sense, but what do you want me to do about it? That's what
he was atrophied. That doesn't really.
No, don't touch it.
No, Neo, don't.
Teo, stop asking perfectly logical questions.
But more important is why.
Oh, so
you don't know yet.
Okay. So it's like in Mega Man. It's the year 21XX.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, this sounds like one future where Sigma actually won and X and Zero died, the Reploids died and the Mavericks took over. I don't know.
Nebuchadnezzar.
It's Nabucodonosor. That's the correct pronunciation, Dwibs. It was the major king of the Babylonians, the civilization. And according to history, the first one to invent written laws. I don't know where the symbolism come from into place in this fucking movie.
Yeah. Hi, Tag. I look forward to seeing you in the other two movies. Oh.
Well, don't we just change actor?
The problem with Tank was he did survive the first movie, but the actor had a dispute with Warner Brothers about the money, so he got fired and replaced by the other guy.
Which is interesting because most of the new actors for the sequels signed on perfectly exclusively just because they love the first movie. They said
Not
themselves in the
knowing
behind
the
scenes.
wild ride they were into.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. The actor, I'm not even kidding. If you go see the behind the scenes footage, the actor who played Ghost, he said, and I'm quoting here, again, I didn't know who I was going to be playing. I didn't know if I was going to be a prostitute from Nebraska or something, but I just wanted to be in it or something.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
And even by the way, Teo,
Fix
even,
that.
and by the way, Teo, since I'm sure you probably want to know, in the behind the scenes footage of the sequels, Monica Bellucci said, and I'm quoting, "When I first saw The Matrix, I felt, wow, I would love to be in a movie like that."
Why? She's not the type of girl to do movies like that. Jesus.
Sorry, Teo. Apparently, Monica is a fan of this movie.
No matter, I still have a soft spot of passion for her anyway.
Yeah.
So,
She's your Laura Bailey, shall we say?
So if this is so according to this, he just said this is a mental projection of your digital self. So this is what they think of themselves in their minds. So Morpheus sees himself as a
It's their
business
avatar.
guy with that kind of suit.
Well, one of the most common joke is that up until when we come to this point, Morpheus is like, yeah, these are projection, blah blah blah, and he was like, then why you're still black?
It's the well, Dwibs. I think it's supposed to be a metaphor for internet avatars.
Yeah. But as the second Renaissance showed us, was it called the second Renaissance?
The second Renaissance, yes.
Yeah, but as the second Renaissance showed us, we got a bit greedy.
Huh.
Yeah. We didn't do very well.
Well, it happens.
Shit happens, I guess. You know, I'm actually glad I'm not drinking. Otherwise, I'd have played a drinking game called Take a shot. How many times? Take a shot whenever there's a lightning strike, or a thunderclap, but whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that really shitty movie. Oh wait, no.
Did you see the Nostalgia Critics review of that film?
I don't.
I did,
Let's just say I don't. Let's just say I hate AI, Spielberg's AI, and leave it at that.
You know we're going to have to get to that film eventually.
I know.
Eventually.
I know.
Yeah.
Also, as for a crapsack future where humans are fighting machines, I'll take many times Terminator over this.
Well, no shit. Terminator is actually well written, and the characters actually act like people.
No, but the idea of this dystopic future where machines and humans are fighting each other, each for their own reasons.
What are BTUs?
I don't know. I don't care.
I think it's some force term, and I forgot. Yeah, that's an interesting problem. An interesting theme. How do you extract bioelectricity from humans without killing them?
Technology,
Yeah,
science,
it's the future and shit. Okay. Also, aside from from growing humans and shit, what are machines doing all day? Like, we're just walking around,
I guess.
looking
Yeah.
at stuff. You.
So basically, Neo was bathing inside dead people.
Yes.
Yay.
So what is the Matrix?
I get what they were trying to do. They tried to recreate the H.R. Geiger feel that the first Alien movies had, but it just doesn't work.
Into product placement.
Yeah, buy Duracell.
No. Not Duracell.
It's not true. It's possible.
I this is hilarious coming up.
So wait, you could just wake yourself up out of the Matrix without the phone?
Fuck you, reasons.
I mean, the construct's basically the Matrix, but just loading, so... And pop.
Well, Jesus
The sad part
Christ.
is, see, this is why Cypher's my favorite character. He's the only character who has some kind of a personality.
Well, it's Joe Pantoliano, though. You know, he's always fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, you know,
Wachowski's had different ideas for it.
yeah, that, and yeah, again, you know, I hate. I know, I know, I just brought this up, but as fun as he was to watch in Memento, I couldn't finish watching it, and I had a group of people with me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe I should have brought it to you piece by piece or something, as opposed to just shoving it down your throat like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Teo. Here's the backstory. And how exactly was he born? He was just born for a reason. Yeah, see, there you go, Teo.
I guess it may be connected to what the what's the name? I forgot. Not George Carlin. Whatever. The guy in the second movie says about Neo being the one. You know, but he's not the first.
Yeah.
It's like I said earlier, you know, at least if we had to rewatch a Matrix movie, it's at least this one, because at least here we don't have to sit through either the most overrated chase scene in film history or a 20-minute long fight with characters we know nothing about. You know what movies I'm referring to, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Respectively. So I can apparently spread my cough over the internet.
Oh, don't bother, Dwibs. I just had this thing for like a week or something.
Right. Okay, what was the budget for this movie?
I don't know.
I'll check.
Don't.
Again, yeah, I've seen the movie many times, so...
Okay.
$63 million. Well, why? What's wrong with what was wrong with that?
It's a lot of money.
Well, not as much as it cost to make the sequels, but
Still.
yeah, maybe for $63 million, you know, it looks pretty good. How can you be that warm? How can you be that near the Earth's core without you catching fire? Okay. Hey, hey. You know what we said earlier about the humans acting more like the machines?
Yeah.
At least this guy's,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. You know, the best characters in the best human characters in the trilogy are actually the operators.
Wait, was he circling for the Matrix scenes? That's
And
boring
yes,
shit.
floppy disks, clearly the future.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, the best human characters in this are the operators because they act like humans. You know, this guy and then what's his name in the sequels?
All right. Jesus.
Yeah,
What's
Link. Yeah, Link.
Did
That's it.
he just orgasm?
Yeah. No, he was watching Speed again. Speed one. John Wick.
So yeah, apparently being given information to your brain is the equal of sex, I guess. I don't know.
drug or something?
Hey, yeah. I'd love to do that.
Get it? Get it? Because, uh, and here's one of the most famous lines in the movie.
All right.
Oh, here we go, Teo. Hold on.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Basi-
then you can find glitches and shit.
Basically, Teo, the only ones who can become gods, like you said, is the ones. Or in our case, that would be Neo.
All right.
And go.
See,
Yeah, that's another thing this film does really well. The fight scenes.
yeah, the choreography is done by Wu Ping, one of the greatest martial arts choreographer of all time.
So yeah, that's one thing this movie does have going for it still to this day. Fight choreography.
Yeah, the kung fu is great. My problem is that, okay, in this movie it's fine, especially because they're just sparring and shit. Especially because Wu Ping's choreography is always like this anyway.
Yeah.
The problem is that this is a sparring program. It doesn't work so much in the sequels to me because, especially, for example, in the final fight between Neo and Agent Smith in Revolutions, there's a lot of movements that are completely unnecessary and are just there to look fancy, and I don't like fights like that. So in here it's fine because they kept it a little more restrained. But by the time they reached Revolutions, they didn't even try to restrain themselves with this.
I don't know. Actually,
Just make it look as fancy as possible. It doesn't matter if it actually looks like a real fight.
honestly, I gotta be honest, Pedro. I actually kind of get a kick out of watching those kind of fights.
Oh, that's fine. It's just that from a character and storytelling standpoint, it doesn't make sense to make your fight scenes like this.
Well, it looks cool, so
I know it looks cool,
yeah.
Dwibs, but this is a movie that's supposed to be trying to be brainy, so it should handle its action scenes with a little more care. But not this one. This one's fine. It's just I'm talking about
Yeah,
Revolutions.
they're just practicing or well, sparring, but same thing.
All right.
Whoa! Wee! And Morpheus just stands there looking unimpressed.
Yeah, whatever, bitch.
Yeah, whatever. Kick.
Because
Well,
you have
better.
because you have a bigger focus meter than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must defeat my Shoryuken before you can beat me. That, that's not a question, but whatever.
He's trying. Okay, he's trying to make
Yeah,
him
yeah.
realize. He's trying to make him realize and mentalize himself that this is not real. This is just a computer program. So
Yeah.
he should just let go and shit like that. That's basically what he's trying to get across.
Yeah, we can tell very well with our very choppy
Yeah.
cameras.
By the way, that line means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But figured we would just write that in.
Technobabble.
It looks cool.
The movie was 2 seconds too short, so we had to add that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When they were casting the actors for the movie, I know even the crew had to do that as basically the principal cast and hell, even the crew, they had to read quite a bit of books. One of them being a book called Accurate and Simulation, whatever that is.
Oh God. No, I'm not. I'm not even gonna. Well, actually, I might later when there's less going on. But I'll bring up my topic about that stupid book later.
Well, have you read it?
I haven't read it, but I know the basic gist of it.
Right. Well, I've never heard of it. I'll have a look at it.
All right.
Examining the relationships among reality, symbols, and society.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like a doozy.
Ah.
Okay, Dwibs. Okay, Dwibs. Just to give you an idea. You know how
Yeah.
this movie is filled with lines that sound pretentious as fuck and don't mean anything? That's basically what Simulacrum Simulation is. It's basically an entire book where what little point Bogart has to make, he overcomplicates his wording so much to make him sound smarter to disguise the fact that he's not actually saying anything. Kind of like this movie.
Yeah, that whole thing earlier, that pretty much defined Keanu Reeves' career from this point onward. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to see your confidence in the one, guys.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, they could have chose a program that doesn't have, like the equivalent of a bottomless pit. In case something like this happens.
Yeah, but you know why he didn't make the jump? Because the people didn't believe in him. And if you don't believe in the one who is the Messiah, then he's not going to work.
See, even the movie is flat out telling you that this scene had absolutely no purpose.
Yeah, right. And I love how he just talked to empty space there.
It's like what's her name again? It's like Ellen from FF8 all over again. Let's just say Dwibs FF8 pulls a similar thing and leave it at that.
It came out the same year as this too.
Actually, FF8 came out in 1998. I think.
I think it was 1990.
I'll look it up. Maybe it was 98 in Japan and 99 for us. Let me check.
The body can't live without the mind. Yeah, okay, that's true. Oh, text.
Oh, never mind. You're right. Yeah, all versions came out in '99. You're right.
All right. Okay, I gotta be right back. I gotta let my dog out.
Sure.
Oh, hi,
Who let the
doggy.
dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Actually, no. There is absolutely nothing about him.
You're literally making this up.
Why is Stafford pointing out the plot holes? Oh, this scene.
Oh boy.
To be fair, unlike the other one, this scene does kind of serve a purpose, so I guess it's better than that one.
Yo, the system is our enemy, dude.
Fuck the establishment.
Of course. Uh. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, including Neo himself. So why the fuck didn't the Matrix just took over that? Whatever. Fuck this.
The plot demands it to.
Actually, no. The key maker is holding all the keys, so that's the topic for the sequel.
But Teo, they haven't come up with the key maker yet. Basically, they're not God, therefore inferior.
All right. Okay.
All right, and now we're going to establish how the Sentinels work.
Yeah. Because but remember, all this time the people were just in this, flying airship that was running through this giant, lovely sewer level.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. The entirety of this trilogy takes place in fucking Sewer Shark. I mean, think about it, Tail. Look at it. It's Sewer Shark.
Yeah, it's literally sewer shark.
The sad part is that I still kind of enjoyed the story of that game more than this. Because at least that one was funny. Like that Danny DeVito lookalike. The guy from The End of Days.
Doing great.
Camouflage. Alright, the camouflage meter is up to 90%.
Okay, you're a hacker and you don't know these things. Yep.
The entire world is a sewer level.
How nice.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, glad to hear. Okay, next time I'll be RP. So,
Alright.
be right back.
Basically, Dwibs were getting attacked by one of the squids.
Yeah, again, I've seen... I can't tell you how many times I've seen this movie, actually. Oh, actually, I will say it. Oh, fuck, Tom. Because, I mean, I know we're taking the piss out of this movie, but I still like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it still has some interesting ideas.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Tapapera, you scared me.
Okay, well, you know his actor is Italian-American.
Well, yeah.
Have a look at it, actually. What else has he done aside from this and Daredevil? Jesus Christ, the guy's 64 years old now.
So when he did this movie, was in his 50s?
Late 40s.
Yeah, still, it looks a bit younger than that. It looks like in his 30s.
I guess he must have ate his greens back then, when he was younger.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Alright. What?
What? Alright.
More philosophy bullshit.
All right. Okay, Tia, while the scene's still going on...
Yes?
Okay, I haven't seen Memento. I know it's full because fully because I got me and the people I was watching with were so bored we just switched off partway through. Did you manage to see it all?
Not entirely, but a good chunk of it.
Right. I take it when we do Nolan films, we're not us and Pedro aren't exactly going to be seeing eye to eye a lot. Anyway, we'll get to those when we get to them.
We'll need all the strength we need.
Yeah. Oh boy, I can't wait to see the humans act more like
Machine. Machine. Oh boy, this scene. Of course, I'm Italian, so I must eat a good thing.
I don't get it. Pedro doesn't like the Wachowskis because he thinks because they're not good at directing actors and they're more like machines here, and yet he likes Nolan even though he does the same thing.
Well, Dwibs, if there's something that this group should have taught you by a long
Dwibs,
time,
it's very rude to talk among someone else on their back.
Dwibs, if there's one thing that this group should have taught you like a long time ago is that everyone here has some weird tastes.
I don't have weird tastes. I mean, it's not my fault. You guys, you guys don't get it.
Oh god, I hate that logic. You just don't get it.
Well.
Ugh. But anyway, let's not.
You started it.
Now we're doing another one. You just don't get it, and you start. Jesus Christ, we're becoming those stupid YouTube commenters. Can I just beat it out at Morpheus? Alright. Okay, that's one thing I never understood about this scene. He has to be in the Matrix so that he can talk to Sniff, right?
Another thing is that, remember, it doesn't matter about the Nolan films we do because I'm not going to be in any commentaries for Nolan films. So.
Anyway, I was just going to say about that scene. He's supposed to be in the Matrix, right? And he talks to Smith, and someone has to watch him so that he can take him out later on. How come no one saw him talking with Agent Smith, planning the betrayal?
I don't know.
Pedro, can you explain that to me? Never mind that. Abort operation.
What the hell is the point of this?
It's
Tarantino. Bad Tarantino.
No. Don't you see, Pedro? They miss actual foods, and they're dissing this whatever that stuff is.
This kind of thing can be done well, as Quentin Tarantino proves it. But the thing is that you need.
Yeah, apparently it's a. Yeah, it seems that it's only. I think only Tarantino himself can put them, and when other people try to put it, they can't. What's the magic inside it?
I don't know. Tarantino's got some magic trick figured out that he's not telling anyone.
Yeah, that's another thing I hate, when people ape off other people.
Well, Dwibs, all the more reason why you should hate this movie. Like you were saying just before I left that this movie at least has interesting ideas, but all those interesting ideas are stolen from Ghost in the Shell, and Ghost in the Shell does them a lot better anyway.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I've forgotten quite a bit about Ghost in the Shell off the top of my head, so yeah. So there you go.
The Oracle.
Whatever, the movie's still better.
But I can't remember it.
Well, that's not really it's not the movie's fault that you have a shit memory.
At least not. Okay, why did that guy have, that guy's mouse?
Notice our directing. Notice our directing.
How did Mouse get you outside the Matrix? How did Mouse get a different suit and a haircut?
I don't know.
Because potatoes.
Did he have to reshoot that bit or something? But by that point, they couldn't ever grow his hair, and he didn't even put.
Hotel delivery. What? Hotel delivery. What the hell kind of name for an hotel is that?
No. It's the back of the hotel.
I know, but no. But really, I don't know. It just.
was he doing there exactly?
He was eating an enchilada.
Surprised he isn't twirling his mustache at this point.
Ah, yes, because all Italians have comedically large mustaches.
Evil.
Actually, I'm quite proud of my mustache myself. Sorry.
Yeah, beards that never look good on me. So
Actually, for all account, I should be a good guy. I have mustaches and a goatee, for fuck's sake.
No, facial hair does look good on me, but Vanessa doesn't like it, so yeah.
Oh, okay, line. I'm so uninterested in this conversation.
yeah, that's one problem with the entire trilogy is this problem. The Keanu Reeves and Carrie Moss have about as much romantic chemistry as a packet of crisps and a door. Who's that guy?
Some random bum with a katana.
Is he meant to be like the bodyguard or something? But then he turned into...
You shall not pass.
But he turned into Seraph in the sequels?
I guess. Didn't the guy said that he had many forms or something because he was a program?
I think he did.
I don't even know.
Okay, one interesting thing about... You know when they put these films on Blu-ray as part of that trilogy package?
Yes.
They actually got two sets of people to do commentaries for these movies. One set of philosophers, that talk about the philosophies of this movie, and another one with the critics of this movie.
So they called Cisco and Ebert?
No. Well, Cisco was dead at that point. So,
Ouch.
So no, they called like three critics. And yeah, that's one thing I'll give. Yeah, at that point, the Wachowskis were humble. So
At that point is the key
point.
part here.
Yeah. Nowadays, they're bashing people because they get Cloud Atlas.
But don't you see?
Speaking of which,
but Dwibs, what is a critic but someone who reads? How was the line again?
Who reads quickly, but never wisely.
Yeah.
Oh God.
speaking of which,
Okay.
It's not quite
sorry.
it's not quite as much of an anti-critic rant as Lady in the Water, but damn.
Okay, you know what, Pedro? I have to apologize to you.
What?
I mean, I know you did the whole, I know you did the whole "you just don't get it" thing earlier, but you have one excuse over the Wachowskis.
And my excuse is
You're at least not a professional filmmaker.
Well, the thing is, Dwibs, if you ask me why I love Memento, I can back up my arguments if you want. Whereas the Wachowskis instead just clam up and go, "Oh, you guys just get us."
Yeah.
It's true that I do say that you don't get it. However, if you ask me to elaborate on that point, I can and I will.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't really the place to do that. So,
of course.
Maybe.
Anyway, my question was, probably already asked this, but what are the Wachowskis doing these days?
Sensei.
Oh,
after
they're just working.
Yeah, after
for
Jupiter
full-time
Ascending,
okay.
after Jupiter Ascending, Cloud Atlas and Speedway bombed magnificently at the box office. Warner Bros. Is not supporting them anymore, and nobody's hiring them at this point. So basically, they're forced to finance their own TV show.
We've only done like a few episodes of that. I mean, I've wanted to continue doing that show, but Pedro's.
It's just as pretentious and boring as Cloud. It's literally Cloud Atlas, the TV show.
Jesus Christ.
Hell, they even got Tom Tykwer to participate in that.
Yeah, he did Tyke was a composer / writer / director guy.
In Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, and Sensei.
And here's another that's another thing about this movie. It was two lovely, talented actresses, Gloria Foster and the one in the next two movies.
Okay. I've got nothing against the actress who played the Oracle in the third movie, and I completely understand the reason for the recasting, but I honestly prefer this actress.
What the shit?
I mean, the problem is, I think she's fun enough. The problem is that the role was not written for that actress. It was written for Gloria Foster. That's why there's a bit of a dissonance, you know?
I guess the Wachowskis didn't have enough time to rewrite the
Yeah,
Oracle.
when they wrote the sequels, they were thinking of Gloria Foster when they wrote her dialogue. So obviously they weren't thinking of a cast change.
And to be fair, no one expects
Of course.
The Spanish Inquisition.
that, and no one expects actors to die partway through movies.
That's another thing we had to do. We have to do Holy Grail at some point.
Wasn't one of the very first thing you guys did?
No,
I
actually,
wasn't
actually
available?
no. We haven't done Holy Grail yet.
No.
Oh,
No.
Oh, so she's just like Jodie's mom from Beyond Two Souls. She's only gonna say cryptic shit.
of course.
So this inspired Mia.
Oh,
Sutakumi watched this movie. You based the character Mia on her. I mean, think
of
about
course
it.
you don't. I'm
mean, think
speaking in riddles. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Like a clue that will make you go, oh, so that's what you meant.
I mean, think about it. People talk her up, yet she talks in riddles, and well, technically she's not living. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this whole looking at him thing makes no sense. And here's the thing that I never understood. The Oracle flat out tells him that he's not the one, even though he is. So what the fuck? What the fuck is up with this?
she's trolling him, or it's one of those cases
you're
where
literally establishing a plot point just so you can contradict it at the end of the movie. What the fuck is the point of this?
to demonstrate that machines are not perfect.
Okay, Pedro.
Yes.
I know you said you didn't want to be any Nolan commentaries, but can you at least be in The Prestige? I mean, The Prestige is the Nolan film I've got the least problems with, honestly.
Sure. I love The Prestige. It's just that you know how it is, Dwibs. Like I feel like it's the cool thing to bash on Nolan right now, and I don't really want to be a part of it.
Anyway,
Yeah, let's get back to Well, I'm lost already. Well, yeah, you set it up. Of course, I want to hear it.
yeah, he's kind of stupid like that.
She's literally establishing why Morpheus is stupid.
Yep. Oh, Jesus.
Allow me to explain to you what the Watchers do. They're literally explaining to us what's going to happen.
Spoilers.
They're literally spoiling their own movie.
Hashtag too subtle for me.
I mean, this is
Who does that?
the interesting thing is that they did even worse in Jupiter Ascending with this.
How did they do that again in that movie? I forgot.
Remember, even Doug pointed out how they repeat the exact same plot threads right after they're done.
Oh yeah, oh crap! Jesus Christ! I can't believe I wasted £8 going to the cinema to watch that thing.
Like you know how I feel about those 11 minutes of Eddie Redmayne. Love it. Still more entertainment value than I got out of Cloud Atlas and Speed Racer. It's 11 minutes, yeah, but that's still more than what I got out of Speed Racer and Cloud Atlas, and even the Matrix movies.
Although I think Pam was a bad movie, but
Oh, it was. It's just that I'm just talking about in terms of Wachowski standards.
yeah, that's okay. All right.
In fact, Jupiter Ascending might just be my favorite Wachowski movie. Granted, I haven't seen Bound yet.
Bound. Yeah.
And V for Vendetta. Well, the thing about V for Vendetta, it's kind of I have kind of mixed feelings about V for Vendetta, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. The woman in red.
XXX Roman Red. P.S. Watch the panties.
She's clearly based on Meryl Streep, probably. So no, Meryl Streep. What am I talking about? What's the name of that actress from the 1940s? Hold on, I'll look it up.
Liz Taylor.
No. I'll look it up. Hold on.
All right.
All right.
I'm not gonna kill you or anything later, prick. What's
No,
that
I
little twitch?
Oh, well, no, never mind. I'm mixing it up with another actress. Never mind.
All right.
Oh, yeah, the black cat thing.
There we go. The
Kitty.
Should we have sheep? Oh no, wait, that's the wait.
For like 10 seconds of kitties.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Even if it wasn't the same... Okay. I'm pretty sure it's a bit too much of a coincidence for there to be two black cats just happen to throw around here. I'm pretty sure that question was useless. If he saw two black cats, then and we're in the Matrix, that's clearly what happened.
Ouch.
Not to mention, even if it wasn't, it's always good to be careful anyway. So you should have done that, and even if it wasn't the same cat.
Oh boy. He just said oh no. Oh, here we go. Here's Mouse trying to be Rambo.
Or Scarface. Say hello to my little friend.
You know, moron, you probably should have took a cover. Just saying.
Again, he wanted to be Rambo.
He was going off 1980s action movie logic, and he assumed that the guards were going to miss him horribly.
Yeah, in 1999.
Go figure.
Well, the interesting thing is that later on, when Neo is being chased by the agents at the end, the agents also have horribly shit aim, so...
Yeah.
It's a common thing in media for that to happen. To be fair.
Okay, in this movie, Don Davis really loves the ting, ting, ting. He really loves whatever...
Hammering down. Hammering, goddammit.
Whatever instrument that is. Yeah. Yeah, and that's my only purpose in this movie. To give you that... That guy's only had, like, 2 or 4 lines in this entire movie.
He's dispensable extra.
Yep.
Remember, Dwibs, we need someone to cry over.
We need a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, them being robotic makes sense. You know, they're machines.
So here's my question.
Anyway, go on, Pedro.
Another stop for some reason. I guess to not make noise, but
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they are being followed.
You know, Shiny. Would it be cool to make some kind of a minigame out of this sequence instead of the boring ass repetitive fights? Just saying.
The worry looking.
Do you mean Empath and Neo?
Yes.
Yeah, the ones I had to go through. Thank you, Wachowski.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did direct the game.
Yeah.
Ow.
Well, then again, they probably just directed the cutscenes themselves.
I'm pretty sure he coughed on purpose to.
Oh yeah.
Christ, they don't suspect it. Ugh.
Knock, knock, motherfucker.
Oh. Okay, well, at least this guard shows intelligence. What?
Let's just start shooting at random.
Yes.
Whoa.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Oh, I love this one. What the fuck was that?
Battle cry.
Oh, audience, if you think he's over the top now, wait till we get to the next movie.
Yep.
Well, technically, we already did the next movie, but
I know, but the audience probably will
yeah.
be watching these in order.
We're contradicting our own timeline. We cause the time paradox.
You see, Dwibs, time is
dun, dun,
convoluted.
dun.
Use a soapstone to get help from your allies.
Yeah. See, how come they have good aim, but the guards have shit aim?
Dwibs, I can't hear you with all this noise.
Because action movie logic.
I said,
Dwibs.
how come the guards have shit aim, but these have good aim?
Because action movie logic.
Yeah. That's racist.
What does that mean in terms of symbolism? That he's a meme?
It means exactly nothing, Teo, and it's just pretentious writing.
So much for running away from the agents. When he hit his head.
You know how it is, Teo. It's like all those scenes in No Country for Old Men where there was just people standing around with a deadpan expression on their faces. That was supposed to be it's all allegorical. It's all metaphorical of a giant steaming pile of crap.
So what the fuck?
So here's my question. Okay, if the agents don't actually belong in the Matrix, why do these police even obey him? Do they even know who he is, and don't they even question who he is and why he's giving him orders?
I guess they made themselves like a badge or something.
But that's not how it works. Like if these
That's
guards,
not how the Matrix works.
I mean, if the machines are trying to make this world feel real to fool the humans, they're not doing a really good job, are they?
It's like the Star critics said. How did they keep it a secret? And how did that truck blow up?
I guess they're going off the logic that it feels like a dream, and it is true that when when you are in a dream, it feels real, regardless of how weird it is. But still, I don't know. They do things way too often in this movie.
Okay.
Alright. Ah. Don't be upset. Have some spaghetti.
That reminds me, actually. I kind of would have preferred to do Sucker Punch for the sake of new commentary over this, but oh well, we had to do it.
Well, I wanted also to ask you, I'll tell you later why.
We already did Sucker Punch.
No, we didn't, Dwibs. Remember, we aborted.
Yikes.
We aborted like 15 minutes in.
No, we managed to do it, didn't we?
Nope.
Wait,
did we? I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah, we did it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. I gotta. In fact, I'll check my others just in case, just so I can stop being a moron.
So, yeah. Dozer's dead.
No.
I'm so. How will I guess?
Oh, the humanity.
I guess all I can do right now is try to live one day at a time.
Where do you get that bit from, anyway?
Nowhere. I made it up.
Oh.
Basically, I don't remember what I heard it, but it's my own spin on a certain line I once heard. I don't remember where I heard it though.
Right.
I completely dissociate from the behavior of this man.
Oh God.
I sound so worried.
Yeah, I bet even back then, I don't think people were singing the songs praises. I don't think any of them were praising the acting really. He's gonna say your biggest problem in this movie, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
right now, actually.
Yeah.
You know, I'm siding with what's supposed to be the bad guy. That's not a good thing, is it?
Yeah.
See, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, and look, he says here.
He played us like a damn
And
fiddle!
Pedro!
Yeah. You call that free? But you have to eat goop and live in a dystopian future? Yeah, in the Matrix you could do anything, you know, you could have fine food and everything. Here, you're stuck fighting a war with machines.
You see, this
And
is
everything's a post-apocalypse.
Allow me to elaborate. The reason we are siding with the antagonist is because his agenda actually makes sense to us. He has a clear, understandable agenda that is motivated by human motive, whereas everybody else is just, yeah.
Oh, hang on, we missed the line there. He said he wanted to be an important guy when he woke back up, like an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, but and originally I said, but you are an actor.
Not like this.
Oh no. Brilliant.
Oh
Carrie,
my God.
I love you, but that line. Well, do it then.
Just do it.
Well, don't plug him then, you moron. Just unplug him. What are you doing?
Don't you see, Dwibs? He has to be the villain that gloats and has to, waste all of his fucking time.
Gee,
instead of
that's why I like Kingsman so much. You know, the villain there doesn't waste time gloating. He actually does shit.
They even poke fun at that trope.
Yeah. See? Now look what happened.
Pooh.
So how come Dozer died but Tank survived?
Because
he's a tank.
Oh.
yeah, he's a tank, and we need to help propel the rest of the plot. That, and we need to give. I guess we need to give the film
Yeah,
some.
I love what happened. I love what he says now. Hold on.
He just got shot through.
He got shot through the thing, and it looks like he's burned, and yet he's perfectly fine. He doesn't even flinch.
Yeah.
So much for being the most human character.
Okay, I get the feeling that they did the killings off thing to try and get some stakes going in this movie because people can die. But
Yes.
yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. Prepare
Yeah,
yourself.
green and
Prepare
gray.
your audience to be barrotted with pretentiousness. Alright, guys, now you get to hear what I was referencing. Remember when I made that joke in our last season commentary? You know when the first Matrix... Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that stuff?
True serum.
Right. Yeah. We used Windows 8. Oh no, wait, no, this is that was 19.9 and all that. So we
What's worse, Dwibs?
Windows 3.1
or Windows Vista?
Also, 8 is still better than Vista, but not by much.
That's sad.
Nintendo's alright, though. I'm gonna throw you from it. Morpheus is like, oh god, shut up.
Yeah.
Actually, there are multiple problems that I could mention, but yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
We don't have the time.
You were a professional hacker. You should know this stuff. Like, it's like the Wachowskis completely forgot when Neo was hacker. Like the second he entered the real world.
Teo, we've dropped that plot point. Great.
Oop.
All right, everybody.
Oh,
Okay.
We're going to pull the plug. That was The Matrix. So.
Oh,
final thoughts?
what a weird
Yeah, wow.
what a weird way to do you what's the name
Sacrifice.
no you can what I'll search the term. Yeah, euthanasia. There you go.
Yeah.
Fucking terms.
You're a liar.
You were more than a leader to us. Yeah.
You lied. We have to eat this stupid goop forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All because
So-
you lied to us.
The real
So-
problems were
so
not the
fuck
machines,
you.
but the fucking goop.
So fuck you, I'm unplugging it. Oh.
You don't know yet.
This is Keanu Reeves justifying the logic of this script. Trying to... No, this can't be how it is. It's too stupid.
You haven't answered the question.
Red with enthusiasm.
Good actor.
No, I mean, Carrie, she...
No. Neo said Morpheus did that because he believed that I'm something that I'm not. And I said, a good actor. Because the prophecy said so.
Aha, the personality has already been stripped out of me. To be there.
Remember, I'm supposed to be Spanish. Hola.
How do you know? Oh, ask you a simple question.
The Wachowskis are literally telling you, just roll with it and don't ask questions.
God, that's another thing I hate in stuff, you know. Yeah, okay, I guess sometimes that you can leave stuff up for interpretation, but explain some stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Ugh. That bit in the music.
Like, for example, the ending of Coca Orange is left to interpretation for the sake of the audience being able to make up their own minds about the topics of the film. Because like I said in our commentary, I think giving the movie a definitive ending would ruin the ambiguity of the story.
Although in movies in general, you're walking off when you try and do that
Oh yeah,
thing.
of course. It depends on the movie.
You're walking a fine line between leaving it open to interpretation or using it as an excuse because you couldn't think of anything.
Exactly.
I think that's partly why I wasn't really big.
That's the main excuse No Country for Old Men fans use.
That's partly why I wasn't really big on Mission Impossible 3 because they had that MacGuffin that they never explained. And then that came off to me as well. Mams.
Oh boy, this bitch.
Ugh.
Equilibrium?
Not really.
Okay.
No, yeah,
okay.
I really don't.
I'll admit I have no idea what an equilibrium.
Every mammal does that, you moron.
Okay, I got no idea what an equilibrium.
Basically, he's trying to say that we humans are the only mammals who don't procreate and don't move to areas where there are resources. Except every mammal works like that.
But, of course, we procreate.
The idea of Agent Smith is that mammals adapt to the surrounding area where they live in order to survive, while humans adapt to the area to their needs. But that's one. It's not explained well enough to be justified.
How do you explain?
Two, this fucking moral has been done countless times, especially in those fucking 90s environmental movies
Not
and
just
cartoons.
that, but not just that. In that case, Wachowski's, how do you explain the cavemen surviving?
Okay.
Cavemen didn't have the ability to customize the environment to their needs, so how do you justify their survival?
Okay, you know, Morpheus explained earlier that you can get anything you need from this bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This area you can get anything you need. Why not just get a helicopter or a tank automatically from this bit and storm the building?
Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to have a cool action shooting scene. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? This is the kind of thing that I was talking about. Like they're putting action over story, where if you ask me, even in a movie like this, the action should support the story, I think. I mean, Terminator 2 did that.
If this was like a dumb 80s Arnie movie, then yeah.
But this movie's trying to be all smart and complex and shit.
Okay. I'm not sure whether this is Smith talking or Hugo Weaving just ranting at Lawrence Fishburne.
Directors, I wish I could just avoid it, but I had to sign a contract and shit.
Yeah, now I gotta be in Lord of the Rings and this at the same time. How am I gonna go back and forth between Australia and New Zealand? I mean, I know it's only a short hop and I was born in Australia, but come on.
What the fuck is he doing?
Okay, I suppose you could say that they are trying to set up other sequels.
Kinda,
A bit, maybe.
Even when he's trying to sound angry, he still sounds lifeless.
It's his facial reactions more that what helps.
Yeah. Cool and stylish.
Yes, with our big jackets and our green environments.
It's style over substance.
This movie has so much green.
Where's the Matrix?
Yeah. And yes, we are slaughtering poor innocent guards that were just doing their fucking job.
Yes,
and we're
our
not
heroes, everybody. Why am I supposed to like them again? I mean, up until this point, I didn't like them, but at least they weren't flat out evil. But now it's got to the point where I'm starting to despise them. I mean, couldn't they just stun them? Couldn't you use tranquilizing guns?
Again, you can make anything, just get tranquilizers.
Hell, use Spock's Vulcanian, grab thing on the shoulder.
They don't have that ability.
Oh. Hell, use a bomb with sleeping gas or something. There's so many ways you could do this without having to kill them. But no,
then you wouldn't be in this situation.
Exactly. I mean, that's how I do most of my infiltrations in Phantom Pain. I put them to sleep before they can even know what's happening.
Also, this has got to be the place with the weakest stone structure ever. It takes only a couple of bullets to reduce it to, Swiss cheese.
Teo, that's because this is a movie set. That's actually made of
foam.
Styrofoam.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot. When did the first Mad Max game came out?
The first.
No, sorry, I confused.
The first movie.
No, 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 no. Oh
The first
God,
Matrix
Max
game.
Payne, Max Payne. Sorry.
Oh, Max Payne.
First 2001, I think.
So kind of like the same period of his, because I think the bullet time of Max Payne has been pretty much a rip-off of this scene, or inspired.
Yeah, it
or
was. It
Oh,
was
whatever.
that's right. I
2001.
forgot. I forgot one thing. We did talk over the spoon scene, so allow me to basically. Oh, don't try to think find the spoon. Just think that there is no spoon, which is of course the reality. Then you'll realize it's not the spoon that bends; it is only yourself. Basically, they're being redundant and once again trying to convince Neo that this is not real. Even though, I mean, you'd think after the whole fight against Morpheus, you would get the hint.
But
The
Neo's
last
stupid.
spoon bender. Oof. Moving on.
Okay, let's go.
And by the way, that scene wasn't entirely pointless and added nothing to the story.
Aside from the fact that Neo and Trinity are serial killers by now.
Yeah. In fact, it actually harmed the story, if anything.
Yeah. It's not like it seems.
Yeah, yeah.
I love how the other agents immediately brush this aside because this is clearly not suspicious at all.
Well, again, I think the whole. I guess the thing about agents is that they forget what they're doing or something when they put the earpiece off.
A bomb.
What is that thing anyway?
I don't know, and the movie itself doesn't care.
It's a bomb, Dwibs.
Oh, yeah.
Just a very complicated bomb.
Right.
No, you think? Thank you so much, Captain Obvious.
I wonder if that's the same agent that earlier said he got out. No, she got out, sorry.
Gotta give level 5 so much kudos for taking a jab at
Why
the
did you
stupid
say
trope.
that?
To the
There's no
infinite
spoon.
and beyond.
Why did you say that, Just? There is no
Because it's supposed to be a metaphor for this. Remember, this is not real. Don't think about it. Remember, Dwibs, the spoon is supposed to be a metaphor for accepting the fakeness of this world.
Oh,
Come on,
cool.
Dwibs, this is one of the most unsubtle metaphors ever. Even you should be able to get this. Ah, you think that's bad? Like in the third movie, we tried to make the actors.
I love how that guard said that line. I repeat, we are under attack.
Awesome,
Bullseye.
Mr. Oh wait, sorry, wrong engine.
Yeah, it's eight.
Yeah, this is just generic agent number 327.
Look at that.
All right, and here we're going to see the most famous scene in the entire movie. In fact, one of the most famous scenes in cinema history.
Help.
We.
Even the Pop-Off girls paid homage.
Well, Pedro, pretty much everyone ripped off this scene somehow.
Oh, shit. Yeah, if you hadn't have wasted time gloating, even though you're supposed to be a machine, then you wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah.
The plot demands it, Dwibs.
Of course.
Well, not really.
You can tell how I'm amazed at this feat because of the tone of my voice. Don't try.
And technically,
know-
he didn't move like the agent. He just bended his.
I know I don't sound
back.
amazed, but trust me, I am.
I'll search porn. There you go. There.
I'm actually okay. Okay, I gotta say, I'm actually kind of glad I don't really have a favourite anything, so that's I'm not really affected a whole lot
Oh,
by.
so you're like Chris Stuckman when it comes to picking a favorite movie.
Yeah, I can pick a least favourite movie, but not a favourite.
Oh yeah. Just like with Dragon Ball Evolution for.
You have Neos in the
by the way,
house, bitches.
in fact, Teo, here's the interesting thing. You want to talk about Captain Obvious? Here's me being the most amazing Captain Obvious ever. Guess what? Chris Stuckman may not care much for Dragon Ball Evolution. Just saying, he may not care that much. Okay, in case you don't know, Teo.
Wonder.
In case you don't know, Teo, Chris Stuckman reviewed that movie 3 times. He reviewed it back in 2009 when it first came out, when he had a kind of a low budget camera and shit. Then he reviewed it again in a 12-minute review, and he recently reviewed it again in a 26-minute review.
And he managed to stay fresh.
Actually, he even made a skit about how he was
repetitive.
He was left completely numb, and his wife was basically trying to take care of him, nurse him back to health. Because his wife is also a fan of DBZ. So she
I've just realised something.
What?
Both his and my least favourite films are only like 90-odd minutes long. And they're both action movies.
Well, of course,
or at least trying to be action movies.
Action movies are the ones that are the most widely appealing.
Yeah. His least favourite one is one about one that butchers his favourite source material.
The reason a movie like Hugo bombs at the box office is because that movie is made for film lovers. It's a movie about a passion for filmmaking. It's not really about pandering to an audience or something.
Yeah. His least favourite film is one that butchers his favourite source material, which is understandable.
Oh yeah, totally. That's the main reason why I hate the prequel so much, because they take a giant dump and contradict a lot of the mythology established in the original movies.
My least favourite film is made by some Thai guy trying to convince us that the American FBI can operate in Canada.
Peakwater's hot! No!
No, get to the chopper. Oh, wait.
We're in the chopper. Yeah, that could be something we could do in the future. We can have a debate over which of our least favourite movies is worse.
Hey, look at that wonderful green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was 2001, I think.
1999.
1999. So I guess it was a bit justified.
I can see it now. Me trying to argue the demerits of Ballistic versus Transformers Revenge of the Fallen versus whatever Teo's and Jova's and She-Ra's favourite movies are.
I honestly don't know what to pick for my least favourite movie. I really...
Well,
there are so many choices.
Well, if in that case, I think we should just pick one that comes to your mind the most.
Let me guess.
Oh boy. Oh. And she survives.
Let me guess, Teo, Moonrise Kingdom.
I mean, that movie was terrible, but I didn't particularly care for it. What the fuck? That's not how it works.
But it looks pretty. So.
How? Did 3D just bashed onto the camera?
Yeah. I thought
Talk
this
about
was
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. You're not Deadpool, Trinity.
It's like in the 8th
How do
episode.
you know he's the one by just saving a girl from a helicopter?
It's like in the 8th episode of Yokai Watch, where Nate slaps Whisper, and then Whisper literally comes and hits the screen, and then the screen cracks.
How do you know he's the one just by watching him do that?
But I kind of wish I was watching the Yokai Watch movie. I love this line here.
Let me finish.
Again, the Wachowskis are literally telling you, just roll with it. Don't ask questions.
Even though we're kind of relying, we need to rely on logic to have this movie work. Because, we're in a computer world.
Yeah. I mean, you can have an illogical world as long as you establish the internal logic of your world. I mean, let's say, for example, Metal Gear Solid 1, for example. Yes, it's a world where people have nanomachines that give them, weird superhero powers. But the thing is, the first thing that happens in the game is we explain what the nanomachines are and what exactly is going on. Whereas in here, they don't explain how most of the things here in the Matrix work.
Yeah.
That's what they could have used the sequels for, actually.
And instead we just wasted on their preachiness and God religious symbolism.
Shame. Well, I'd rather watch.
Hell, forget that, Teo. They had the Animatrix to do that, and they still failed horribly.
Well,
I mean, it's like a Renaissance.
they tried to do
Right.
something, but they couldn't do much, surprisingly.
Although I'll be fair, I'll watch any of these Matrix movies over, the Wachowskis' worst movies like Speed Racer and Cloud.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. Don't worry, I will agree with you right there. I mean,
Yeah,
even Revolutions. For as much as I hate that movie, it does have it is at the very least living proof that it is possible to make a good live-action Dragon Ball Z movie if it's in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. Because despite the story in that movie being crap, the fight scene there is very Dragon Ball Z-esque, and it proves that fights like that could be done in live action if the guy directing it knew what the fuck he was doing.
I mean, all I got
Oh,
from
shit.
I can't look at Speed Racer because of how awful it looks.
Call Atlas is so pretentious, it's annoying.
And don't say they made it look crap on purpose, because that's rubbish.
You know, Dwibs, one of these days,
Yeah.
whenever we're in a time where neither Teo nor Jove is here, maybe we could do a side commentary of Lady in the Water, because that's one movie I would love to hear your reaction from.
I did see
Didn't we commented on it officially?
we did, but Dwibs wasn't around.
All right.
He's beginning to believe.
Oh, that you saw the review.
He didn't start believing earlier. And yes, I did see.
So it took him. Let me check. It took him 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 58 seconds to finally get that fucking hint.
Better late than never, I guess.
Sorry, Cowboy Bebop did this so much better. Sorry.
It's ironic.
What?
Yeah.
There's this Cowboy Bebop movie that's long into development hell at this point.
Yeah, with Keanu Reeves as the Spike.
I can't imagine that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know
I remember how
what could be the best actor to portray Spike.
All right. Since the story is gonna stop for the next 15 minutes or so, I'll be right back.
No, wait, not yet, Pedro.
No,
What is it?
stop, come back.
What is it?
One thing, I watched a video earlier about Chris Stuckman's What's Wrong with Action Movies Today, and I remember Chris Stuckman pretty much drooling over this scene.
Oh,
Basically,
no. Chris Stuckman is a huge fan of this movie.
Yeah. Even though I don't really agree with some things that he says.
The problem, like I said before, the problem with Chris Stuckman is that he gives a little too much importance about the craft of the film. Don't get me wrong, film craft is indeed important.
Yeah.
Film is a visual medium after all. However, the problem with him is that he ignores blatant story and script problems. Like, for example, his Village review, for example. He keeps talking about how whenever he mentions a problem with the movie, he immediately follows that problem with, "But look how beautiful the movie looks."
Yeah. Again, I know I've said this before many times, but Ballistic had
looking beautiful.
Ballistic had decent cinematography, and I still hate that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Julio McCart did a good job with the cinematography, but guess what else was wrong with the movie? Everything else. There we go.
He's the equivalent of a gamer who's a graphics whore.
Okay, anyway, let's get back to walking in the air.
Just leaving shit out of each other.
Okay, so can I BRB now?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Uh,
and don't talk about me behind my back, because I'm always listening to it.
He's the
Don't
Matrix
worry,
dude,
I promise we won't.
So let's talk about Jova instead.
Yes. So, it's just dragging him.
Like it's a fucking peanut sack.
He's a rag doll.
Whee! Alright.
You missed your train, Mr. N.
God damn it, I was about to do that joke. Looks like you have a train to catch, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. Wait, we both came up with better lies than that.
Well, or do that what the devil did. That light at the end of the tunnel. It's not heaven. It's justice, or something like that.
Yeah, you know it's sad when us two, we're not professional writers, and yet we can come up with better lies.
That's sad. Really sad.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Oh my god.
Mind the gap. See, if you had more like one-liners like that, it might have helped a little bit. Maybe I should run.
Yeah, maybe. Run the... I get that
There
he
you
may
go.
be tired. Oh, no, he's not tired because he can run. Okay.
Oh boy. Why did he have to go to another room to check on the sentinels? Don't you think they'd have that in the... Don't you think they'd have another one spare anywhere in the ship in case...
Oh, great. Now we have even a time limit.
Wonderful. This is like a video game.
Yeah, and yet the video game based on this franchise are shit.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do you do that?
Get me the hell out of here. I love the way
He's
he
literally
said
called Wizard Tank.
I love the way he said that. Get me the hell out of here. Like, God, did you drop your accent there for a second?
Wee! There's always gotta be some kind of fruit.
Agent Smith is a dick to the civilians.
What a surprise.
Ding.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Jump.
You know, you're the
Oh.
one,
Do something.
yeah, Don Davis is doing the big ding, 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 ding. No, you're upper left. Yeah, you're upper
Upper
left.
Hello, lady. Sorry, bargaining you for a minute. I need your phone.
Yep, sorry. Whoa.
Jesus!
Oh, crap. Hey, this is just like a video game.
Wee! Slow, necessary slow-mo. Ow.
Okay, that guy... Oh, no, that was a different agent. See? They got the scanners there. Here come the sentinels.
Also, really, is this series of tubes that big that the machines cannot send, sentinels to search for the entire area at the same time in order to avoid things like that?
We see later on they got millions of them.
Yeah, they have like a fucking army.
Yeah. If it's a ship that's hosting your greatest threat, yeah, send almost every machine you have, unless the ones you need to protect.
Not just that,
stations.
I mean, the sewers cannot be that big for you to not have enough sentinels to do a massive search that covers pretty much all of the area.
What?
Oh
Yeah.
no, wait, actually, I think I thought of a reason for that, Teo.
All right.
What is it?
But- Budget constraints.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
And that's why, they had some bits in Deadpool they couldn't do because of the budget restraints. But at least in Deadpool they had other cool stuff to help. Plus, the lower budget at least gave them more creative freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Hurry, Neo! I want to make sweet, passionate love to you in the next movie.
Ew.
303. There we go. Oh.
I'm not even kidding.
Drug
I'm not even kidding. When I first saw this scene, I literally yelled out, "What?" So, what's he going to tell me? That the whole Oracle crap was completely pointless.
Okay, explain.
Because we spent that entire scene talking about, I'm not the one, Trinity. And then, oh, sorry, kid, you're not the one. And then it turns out he is the one. So what the fuck was the point of that?
The Oracle's a dick.
Ding.
I guess.
Ding.
Yeah. Oh well, that's the end of the Matrix.
Final thoughts?
Well, that was sad.
That was stupid.
Yeah, and pointless.
But hey, the bad guys won. That's a rarity.
Ironically enough, it was the guy we were rooting for the most.
Dwibs. We already have David Fincher for glorifying evil. We don't need more.
Oh God.
That him and Aaron.
Maybe you should make his head explode or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we seem to be like the king of unpopular opinions when it comes to commentary groups.
Oh God, this.
Dwibs, trust me, every opinion is unpopular to some extent. Probably, I can only think of like very select few opinions that are not unpopular. Like thinking that Terminator 2 is amazing. Like that's one movie that pretty much everybody thinks it's amazing. So,
But apparently there's still someone who apparently says that it's not the best in the series. Yes, I know.
But yeah, I can understand why.
No. But basically, that serves to say my point is about everything. There will be always someone that has that thinks it's not the best thing ever, or it's the worst thing ever anyway. But anyway, the scene, stupid. Yeah,
okay,
being revived by the
So
power
the
of
Wachowskis
fucking
were spending
love.
forever talking
Ladies and
about
like
about
literally.
tech and all that, and he's revived by the power of love.
That's right. I'm not even kidding. When I first saw this scene, I face palmed, and I went, "Really, really." Okay, you see, I've had fans of this movie try to justify that the kiss is only a visual metaphor, and that there's a deeper reason why. Basically, he woke up, and the kiss thing was just happening at around the same time he woke up as the one. But here's the thing: even if I'm going to accept that, okay, so then what was the point of having her kiss him right at that moment? Because it just comes across as corny. You couldn't have him just wake up. Okay, you could have had her just say "I love you" and then cry over his shoulder, and then he wakes up. He would at least feel a little more
And
legit.
now he sees the
hang on.
technical from Batman Arkham games.
See, hang on. So people were bashing Pokemon the first movie for doing that kind of stuff, but yet here it's fine.
Oh, trust me, Dwibs, I hear you. Don't worry, I agree with you. The sad part is that in that movie, the 4Kids version actually tried to foreshadow it, whereas in the original Japanese version, it literally came out of nowhere.
And people say the dubs. People say dubs.
Well. Just to be fair, just because they did one thing right, we can't immediately forget all the multiple things they did.
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, that's right. Although from what I've heard, the faults are kind of the same in both versions. But anyway, here we go.
Too much overacting.
Don't you mean underacting?
Well,
Because he's
It
effective.
kinda is.
You know what this reminds me of, Teo?
Ah,
You know what this
Jesus.
reminds me of, Teo? Okuto no
Yeah.
Ken.
You're already dead.
You
Oh my
pressure points. This one connects to a desire to learn. You are already a female teacher.
It's the okay watch dreams. Don't question.
It's one of the that's probably Teo's favorite, probably, right, Teo?
Yeah.
If anything, because of the Okuto no Ken nostalgia.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Basically, it's from episode 95, so you're still far.
Alright. You found it. Oh, damn it.
And of course, just in the nick of time.
Did he have to recharge after an EMP?
I think so.
So yeah, that
And
happened.
did Neo get out of the Matrix in time?
I wonder.
See-
Yeah, apparently so.
So, yeah, in order to become the one, you just need to get laid.
If that's
Power
the
of
case,
honor is stronger in you, Neil.
if that's the case, how come I? No, actually, no, I didn't get laid. So yeah, never mind. Moot point. Ignore me. And I'm not going to ask you guys because that's private.
Oh boy, these
well,
are
Dwibs, you can probably guess where I stand in that regard, considering I'm married. But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm not going to ask anyway because
I don't, you don't have to worry about talking about that with me, Dwibs. I have no problem talking about that kind of stuff. I'm very how do you say?
right.
Uh,
You know this
what's the
problem.
word?
No, don't worry, I get it. But anyway, you know this promise he's making. I'm going
yeah.
to show them a world without you. And then the second film comes along. Is like, wait, what was I doing again?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Pretentious dialogue, pretentious dialogue. Just
And
end
in
the
the
fucking
sequel,
movie.
it goes nowhere.
Yeah, this entire scene is pointless because they never bring it up in the sequels. The sequels literally just start right in the middle of
Dream sequence.
yeah, and also Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. Get
Well, I
it.
did like their Degeneration X music.
No, that was a different thing.
Wait, wasn't it? No, I think it was Rage Against the Machine actually, wasn't it?
No, it was a different guy.
Hold on, let me check.
You know what's speaking of Rage Against the Machine, you know what's funny? They once were Christmas #1 round here in the UK recently,
Huh.
back in 2009.
Anyway,
And their
that
song was
was
called-
The Matrix.
And
Yeah.
the song was called Killing in the Name of. Yeah, a song about killing is Christmas #1.
Anyway, final thoughts, I guess.
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Even with the stuff that we've complained about in this movie, I still kind of like it. I mean, there were some stuff that it did back then that I still think are pretty impressive, action-wise, and how they film stuff. You know, plus you got some entertaining performances out of Lawrence Fishburne. No, not Lawrence Fishburne. Joe Pantoliano and Hugo Weaving.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this movie hasn't really aged all that well in other aspects.
Yeah, you can clearly see that.
Particularly the whole stuff they're talking about, especially in the sequels where that kind of stuff went nowhere.
Mhm.
Because clearly this was meant to be a trilogy all along,
Oh yeah, totally.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and also the score. Yeah, Don Davis, he did very good. In fact, I think in the sequels, the only thing that was done better than what was done here was the score. I think the scores were better in the other two. But yeah,
God, this song sucks, Paul. This is the interesting thing, Dwibs. Believe it or not, Final Fantasy XIV also tries to do this kind of shit. As a
Yeah,
boss theme,
sadly.
no less.
Oh, hi, James McTeague. You're going to be directing the Wachowskis' best written movie pretty soon.
Which one?
I know you're not going to agree, Pedro, but Viva Vendetta. No, sorry, Teo, sorry.
No, it is.
All right.
Well, it is. Yeah, well, then again, I haven't seen Bound. Anyway,
We should watch Bound at some point. Anyway, that's my thoughts done.
all right, Teo, go ahead.
I agree on the fact that it didn't age well. Honestly, my favorite of the series, believe it or not, still remains Revolution, but mostly due for the action scenes, which were somehow entertaining to me. In this movie, I don't really know. It just became boring, and then it became more boring even with the other titles. So that's pretty much me.
Indeed.
Okay, Pedro.
I don't like this movie, sorry. Even back then when I first watched it in 1999, I didn't like it. Because the problem with this movie is that this movie is afraid to actually go balls deep into the topics it raises. And instead, all it does is basically stupid action scenes that make no sense in the context of the story. And the characters are all complete empty vessels except for Cypher. And
The operators of all people.
yeah. And again, it's a movie that's horribly misguided in the way it tries to execute its premise. Like, it doesn't explain enough of its own lore. It doesn't. I mean, instead, it spends all those times we were doing action scenes that, for example, those 10 minutes with the bug thing. Those 10 minutes could have been spent actually developing Neo's character and explaining a little more about the Matrix and its workings, but no. Of course not. We had to have this pointless bug arc that went fucking nowhere.
And it's never brought up again.
It's like
Actually, sorry, go on.
it's like in Beyond Two Souls where we had that date chapter with that we could have spent that time trying to develop our relationship with the foe and shit. Anyway, yeah, it's a stupid movie. It's not as boring as Reloaded. Because boring is just at least this movie's not boring. I'll give it that. Whereas Reloaded is just boring beyond belief.
What about Revolutions?
Seriously, who the fuck thought it was a good idea to shoot an entire action scene in slow motion? Anyway,
What about Revolutions?
Revolution is just stupid. Yeah, it's a bad movie, but I guess it's better than the ones that came after it, I guess. Sorry.
Okay, you know what, guys?
What?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of this or something.
A
Yeah.
reboot, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes remakes can.
Well, the problem is this
Explain
kind of
stuff
story has
better.
been done and redone so many times, even in not just in movies, but even in other formats like video games or cartoons or
I mean, El
books.
Pedro argues it was done better before.
Yep.
And you can, if you want to hear some of his arguments, please listen to our Ghost in the Shell commentary.
Yes.
which we'll do sooner or later.
Actually, we already did it.
You've already did it. We haven't uploaded it as of
All right.
February 13th, 2016.
Okay.
All right.
That was The Matrix, everybody. I hope you
See you
enjoyed it.
for either Matrix Reloaded or the Animatrix. I forgot to be uploaded after this.
See you, everybody.
Yeah.